All right, where's Daryl?
Back here,
Back
Coach.
here, Coach. All right.
Come on, D-Lad.
How did today go, and how have, can you kind of sum up y'all kind of at the midway point of your OTAs? Could you kind of give us a report card at the midway point, I guess?
I'm pleased with the way that it's progressed to this point. We have started to do some situations. I think you guys saw that today, that we're doing some of our special situations in practice. So it gives us a chance before we have our mandatory camp, and we're going to have our full complement of players here. Gives us an opportunity to work on it before they all get here.
Okay, I understand Sante had a previous engagement, but he was here earlier this week?
Yes, he was. He was. And again, these are all optional workouts, and our guys have done a really good job as a whole attending, but they are optional. They're not mandatory. The only mandatory thing that we have coming up is our mandatory mini camp, the 19th, 20th, and 21st of this month.
Specifically, what you've liked about the offense and what you'd like to see improved in the offense?
Well, I think I like the way that our guys are working. We have obviously changed some things from last year, probably more being the same than changed, but I like some of the subtle changes that we've seen. I like the competition that we've created in the offensive line. It's going to be a very competitive rest of this offseason and training camp, and I think competition is a very good thing.
How's the adjustment been for you with the new CBA and with the new rules, and I guess the lack of on-field work that you used to be able to have, and just finding a way to be more efficient and be as productive as you can be with the limited time that you have?
Efficiency is the key word. We're limited in amount of days and the time on the field. It's been an adjustment, but the way that we practice, we're not a team that comes out and spends an extraordinary amount of time on the field. We try to be very efficient in what we do, the way that we put things together. So it probably hasn't been an issue. The biggest concern I had was the 5 weeks that they cut off was with regards to the condition of our football team. That our guys came back in shape. They had the 2-week period where they didn't work with the coaches. We were able to gauge where they were, and we saw that they'd done a nice job through the early part of March.
At this point in time,
lost some weight all off the top of his head. Did you recognize him?
I didn't recognize him the first day he was back in the building. I didn't know who the guy was, but he looks not only less weight on the top of his head with his dreads gone, but he's had a very good camp for us, as you saw today, and made some nice catches, and he's been making those type of catches all through camp.
In terms of Sam Baker, do you worry about his confidence? Does that have to be rebuilt?
No, I don't. Playing left tackle in this league, John, is not an easy job. You're protecting the backside of the quarterback, and for the majority of the time they're facing the top pass rushers. Most right defensive ends are the guys that have the skill set to rush the passer, and I think Sam's got a very good attitude, and his workouts through the off season. I think, as you know, we had some stuff done there at the end of the season, and when we had that stuff done, he's a lot healthier than he is right now. And when we're talking about health, I want to talk about a couple of other guys. I know some of you guys we don't have to give injury reports, but we'll kind of give you an update from where we are. Corey Peters has not been able to participate, and that he will not participate in our off-season program. The first time we'll get him back out on the field will be when we start training camp in July. We had follow-up appointments with a couple of guys here this week, earlier in the week, and we've made some decisions. Lamar Holmes will not participate in the rest of our off-season program. We're going to be very precautionary. He's out of his, you saw he was walking around, he was out of his boot. We're going to be very precautionary and have him participate when we open up training camp as well. So those are probably the two. Stephen Nicholas is still progressing with his procedure that he had when he missed some time this season. It's a foot issue, and again, we don't have to stop. I'm not going to talk specifically about what his injury is, but it's a foot issue, and should be ready to go when we get back in here for training camp.
About the defense, what you've seen that has impressed you, and conversely, what you need to improve on.
Well, there's some things that we have to get better at. Third down has been an Achilles heel. We've been able to be one of the top 5 teams in the National Football League over the last 4 years in terms of points allowed, but our third down efficiency is something that we need to improve on. Mike Nolan has come in, and his third down package is probably significantly different than what we've done in the past. So I'm looking forward to seeing the maturation process with our defense on third down.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you.
With Lamar out, is Mike Johnson looked like you had him at tackle?
Yeah, again, actually now that we've gone through, John, through a week and a half of our OTAs, and we've had the coaching sessions, we are going to start mixing and matching our offensive line. We've got to start to get into the mindset of the 53-man roster. We have to have guys cross-trained, so you're going to see, and we're going to work guys at different positions. We have a lot of flexibility right now with our offensive line, and guys are going to start getting cross-trained the rest of this week, and then into the mini camp as well.
Are some of these guys as versatile enough to be able to be in the position battle at 2 different spots?
I think so. I think it is. The competition of our offensive line, there's going to be guys that we don't necessarily know right now as we speak what position battle they're involved in. Some of them are in multiple. I mean, when you start talking about right to left side, you're talking about guard to tackle, center to guards. So it's going to be a very interesting off season for our guys. And when I say an off season, I'm talking about the OTAs, the mini camp, and the training camp.
Gotcha. Thanks, Coach.
All right, thanks.